So Mike Pompeo is a Fox News contributor, former Secretary of State. And sir, thank you for your time today. Good morning. Let's talk about this hit on what is essentially a warehouse in eastern Syria. Admiral Kirby, a moment ago from the White House yesterday, called it a strong signal directed at Iran. Do you consider this a strong signal, a hit at nighttime with no one there?
Bill, my experience is that this is anything but a strong response. You lay it against the context of 40-plus strikes that were attacking Americans, that is, American soldiers and civilians inside these countries, and we go after a munitions dump. Put that against the context of trying to restrain the Israelis, making every excuse for Iran, that is, for refusing to actually say that this was Iran that killed 1,400 people on October 7th. That combination of things, I am convinced, is sending a message to Tehran that the green light is still on and that we will not have achieved deterrence as a result of the strikes that were taken last night. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they will cease their actions. But you saw what happened with the Houthis, the group in Yemen that this administration on January 21st, when they first came into office within hours, de-designated, said, nope, these aren't terrorists. Well, those non-terrorists just took down a $30 million American aircraft. Forget a kinetic strike. How about announcing today that, yep, turns out the Trump administration was right. The Houthis are, in fact, terrorists, part of the Iranian effort to undermine the nation of Israel and America.
In trying to look at this from all sides and wondering what the Biden administration is thinking, is there prudence in trying to take this a little bit more slowly so that there's not a full-scale escalation that we might not be ready for?
Well, Dana, of course, the goal is exactly that. It is to de-escalate, it is to deter. But we've clearly lost the handle on that, Dana. I lived this too. We had artillery being fired at our embassy in Baghdad, and we tried a bunch of things to try and deter the Iranians. In the end, we had to take a serious response. We took out their number 2 official, General Qasem Soleimani, and when we did that, we reestablished the deterrence that we'd lost. Dana, it's never permanent. When you get deterrence, it is only for a time. It is going to require a much more serious effort, a concerted effort, not just a kinetic effort, but diplomatic, economic. We shouldn't forget, today they'll ship 3 million barrels. The Iranians will ship 3 million barrels of crude oil and receive cash for it today as we're sitting here. These are the kind of things that the Iranian regime laughs at us at and says, nope, we can continue to go after Americans, go after Israelis. The United States is not prepared to do its part in deterring our aggression by imposing costs not on some knucklehead sitting in the desert in western Iraq, but on the Iranian regime itself.
Sir, a quick question on what's happening in Gaza. You may be aware that the U.S., Israel, Qatar, apparently they're talking about a pause in fighting. Do you welcome that? And also, there have been various reports over the past 24 hours that a hostage deal for a handful, I'm saying 50 out of potentially 241 if they're all alive. Would you encourage a pause in fighting to get aid in there? Or do you simply not trust Hamas enough to be a fair broker on the hostages and to be a fair broker when the aid comes in?
Well, Bill, there's no chance that Hamas will be fair about anything. They are barbarians, they are liars, they're terrorists. I met with some of the families yesterday morning here in Washington, D.C. It is heartbreaking to hear their stories. We need to do everything we can to get them back. And if it's the case that redirecting fires for a few hours or a short pause in the attacks would actually deliver some of these men and women back to their families, sign me up. But a 3-day pause with no promise of what you're actually going to get from these guys who will lie to your face would precisely play into their playbook. The reason they have 240 some odd hostages is precisely so that they can get the whole world to stop responding to the barbaric attacks they took on October 7th. We shouldn't play into their playbook. We should do everything we can to get those men and women home. And I'm convinced that the pressure that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, are putting on the Hamas warriors today, those terrorists who are hiding in tunnels and taking all the food and all the fuel from the very civilians that need it, I'm convinced that the pressure on them is the thing that's causing them to even contemplate releasing those hostages. The Israelis should stay at it.
Secretary Pompeo, I wanted to ask you about one quick thing. Yesterday, the Mossad spy agency, that's Israel's spy agency, issued a very rare public acknowledgement that they worked in cooperation with the Brazilian security services to thwart a terror attack in Brazil that was planned by Hezbollah. And the reason I want to ask you about this is to get your perspective on how this is a worldwide issue and that Iran's influence in Latin America and South America in particular is growing. and it's something we should be paying attention to?
Dana, I think you and I spoke about this. Maybe it was two weeks ago now. The risk, not just in Israel and not just in the Gulf, is very real. You're right about South America. I remember I went to a synagogue that had been blown up when I traveled to South America. It was blown up by these same cast of characters. They have external cells. They've had operations here in the United States as well, where they sought to blow up government officials here. We should all know that the fact that we have a wide open southern border today, where hundreds of thousands of people are trooping across our border, creates an enormous risk that there is something that has been plotted for months or perhaps even a couple of years. And I hope our FBI is on top of this and has a handle on it. The risk that the Mossad identified of taking down a plot in Brazil doesn't surprise me one bit. There's good work going on between U.S. intelligence agencies and our Israeli partners all across the world. I hope that we're ahead of the game and we can prevent this from happening, but I'm very concerned we could see something here in the United States of America or someplace in Europe as well.
Sir, come back soon. Mike Pompeo, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Dana. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.